This is an experiment. I'm going to try and make my own dehydrated food pouches to take camping. I'm going to try and do that for under £100. I've spent £50 on this machine. I've got some sheets that go on the shelves so you can put a more liquid meal on. They were a tenner. I got this vacuum machine, so you put your food into pouches and then this vacuum seals them. That was another £10. These compostable, eco-friendly pouches for the food to go in were £20. I got this recipe book from a charity shop for £1. The recipe I'm going to try and make is a butternut squash tagine. This is just a very standard recipe. This isn't specifically designed for dehydrated food. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. The total cost, we've got £50 for the dehydrator, plus the sheets 60, plus the vacuum machine 70, plus the pouches 90, plus the book 91. That leaves me £1 to go to the supermarket to buy some food. I'm not convinced it's going to work. I think I picked the wrong recipe to try and dehydrate. This is the butternut squash and spinach tagine. There's kind of some onions, various spices, apricots, stock, a chilli, a few other things in there. This is the dehydrator. Each one of these shelves is kind of a mesh. This is where the food would normally sit. Fruit to be dried, for example, can sit on this grid. Because we have something a bit more liquid, I'm going to stick the sheets on. So there's a dehydrator. That's a fan and it's going to blow warm air slowly through the dehydrator. I'm putting my sheets on the trays, which my food will then go on there. I'm going to put more sheets on here, build it up and then turn it on. These trays, when you come to put it on, if I put it this way round, which is the standard way, you can see the food is touching because there's only about 1 centimetre between those two tray heights. What I can do is turn this 180 degrees. It's got these little pegs built in, which will now meet each other instead of sitting flush. So that shelf sits 2 centimetres above the one below now, which just gives me a bit of extra room so I'm not crushing the food. I have no idea what that needs to be on. Let's put it on a nice low heat. We'll go for 50. And I wonder how long this can go for. So a 48-hour timer. You must have to seal both ends. It's just one big long tube. These are compostable vacuum rolls. Last week I gave the butternut squash and spinach recipe a shot. It didn't work well for two main reasons. The spinach, the large spinach leaves didn't sort of dehydrate down that well. Also, the recipe itself just didn't taste that great. It was just pretty bland. I think it was a poor choice, so I'm going to try something else. This is a bean and halloumi stew recipe. It's a real nice simple recipe. I've made it before, but I've never dehydrated it, so we'll give that a shot. It's late morning now, it's had around about 15 hours. I'm going to get it packaged up and I might try and rehydrate a packet as well, and we'll see what it tastes like. Just kick out a little bit of heat around there, sort of it's warm all around as you might expect. This is at 65 degrees at the moment. When you first put the food in, this steams up, but after a couple of minutes it clears as the warm air starts coming through. Just to mention, it's a little bit noisy. It's not a real invasive noise, but you can hear the fan is consistently going, and then it kind of roars, which I guess is the heating element kicking in. If you've been on one of the events where we go wild camping, you probably know I like to eat quite a lot, especially at the end of a day's adventuring. These are the sort of things I'd typically take, which is just what you get off the shelves in Tesco, some pasta and some pesto. Here we're looking at about 600 grams for an evening meal. Even with a fairly generous portion, that's coming in at 200 grams. And if I add some couscous to that as well, to kind of bulk it out, with 300 grams, so it's pretty much halving the weight of the food. It's quite a nice way to keep your pack weight low if you're going out for multiple nights. I feel like the water's cooling down and that this isn't going to rehydrate perfectly. What I'm going to do is try and stick it in a saucepan, heat it up, give it a stir and see how that goes. Oh, that's so much better straight away. You know, that's been on the hob for a minute and a half, something like that. And it's, instead of looking like some dried food with some water poured on top, it's properly rehydrated again and it looks delicious. That's so good. If I was tired, sat on a hill at the end of the day, and I cooked this up, I'd be really pleased with it. That is so good. It just tastes like it hasn't been dehydrated. I think if you're on the side of the hill, you can't just boil water and add it. I do think you need to sort of put the food and the water in your pan and heat and stir it. This is so good. I'm really pleased with that. Can't stop eating it. I wish I had more. I said at the beginning of this video that it was going to be a complete experiment, and it really was. Definitely a learning point is that when you're rehydrating the food, do keep it on the burner and keep it stirring rather than just having sort of almost dried food with water poured on top. I do think you need to bring it back to life a little bit. I'm really impressed by the kit. It's nice and simple to use. It's not too expensive. I do like the almost added bonus that I can save quite a lot of weight when I'm hiking by dehydrating my food. This would make a fantastic Christmas present for someone, or someone that has a birthday in the winter. I just think this is a really nice thing that you can do on the evenings in winter when it's gone dark. If you are interested in any of this gear, I'll include all the links below so you can see exactly which piece of kit I used. I hope you found this video useful. Do check out the Adventure Solos website. We have all our adventures there. We also have a mailing list on the website that you can subscribe to. The links are all below for everything I've mentioned in this video. Please do remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel by clicking on that button below.